Hello, horror fans. It's me, Kylie, and Brewster. He's so cool. How are you doing tonight, Brewster? I don't feel like you need a big introduction. Everyone knows who you are.
How you doing, Kylie? Good to see you.
He's our degenerate horror brother. Our brother in horror instead of brother in Christ, brother in horror. Who is that?
Oh my God!
You guys didn't think you were going to be doing this without me, did you? Did you really think?
What the fuck?
Son of a bitch!
Yeah.
Cass is
Hi
here.
guys.
She's here.
Yeah.
My friend is back. My friend is back.
Oh man.
Kylene told me that she was doing this, and I said, well, we all know Brewster would be the one person that I would break my bereavement leave to come back for. So
You're gonna make me cry too early into this video, Cass.
so I'm
Stop
like,
Stop it right
let's
now.
do it. So Kylie and I had the whole plan. So Kylie's known this whole time she was talking to you.
Minx.
Yeah, but listen, I'm back for this one because we all know that I love my Brewster, and
you ladies are too much for me.
It's okay. So we're gonna have fun, but
Brewster, you're bringing her back from. I can't say that because that's kind of insensitive. I was gonna say you're bringing her back from the dead, but you're. Yeah, I'm so happy you're here, friend. I've missed you right here. I've missed you so fucking much. Right here, right there.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I have been on bereavement leave. And Kylie's been holding it down.
But have I?
You have.
Okay.
But I felt like I needed to come back. If we're interviewing Brewster for Horrorcraft, I have to be here for it.
Dear.
Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get into it. We're gonna hit the music now.
Welcome to the Horrorcraft podcast.
Ow.
Yep.
Let's go. And we're back. We are. Well, Cass isn't a guest, but like, what a fucking surprise. What a surprise.
I mean, she says that, but she knew the surprise the whole time.
Yeah. But I wasn't, I don't know, I was kind of expecting, like, well, maybe she won't come, but, like, you know what? Brewster's, like, the only one who probably could get her to...
For those of you who don't know, the only people that could get me out of this right now would be Kylie, Brewster, Rick, and Tanner. So, and Sarah, but Sarah wouldn't, she wouldn't ask me to get out. But, and to be fair, Brewster didn't even know that this was happening. So
I had no clue.
I just told Kylie, well, you can't do that without me. Like, especially if we're talking about emotions with Brewster, I gotta be there.
That's very true.
Yeah. So
yes, we're kind of doing tonight a little Brewster Visions mental hell, a crossover on Horrorcraft, because Brewster had me on for an episode talking about things that I struggle with, and
and
how horror has helped me.
I was supposed to go on the week that Jim went into the hospital.
Yes.
So,
but I suggested.
Still got an offer on there.
Absolutely.
I know.
But Brewster suggested that. Well, no, I suggested like someone needs to interview you, and he's like, "Well, why don't you do it?" And I said, "Well, don't mind if I do." So.
And then when Kylie was telling me about it, I'm like, "Well, you know what? I gotta tap in, bruh. I really do." there's no way I can't. So, especially because Brewster, we're going to get into everything that makes up Brewster. But one of the things that Kylie and I adore about Brewster, and Brewster doesn't show enough, is Brewster puts on this exterior like that he is just, laughs, fun all the time. But there is a very deeply emotional person underneath that, and somebody that deeply cares about people in a way that I don't think gets shown enough.
Yeah.
And so I definitely know, like, there have been times with me, like, more recently, and it's definitely something that I'll talk about in the future, but, like, I don't think I've, like, hid it from anybody, but my relationship obviously wasn't in the most spectacular place when my fiance passed. And Brewster was one of the few people that I felt like I could, to be fair, Brewster, Rick, and Tanner, but Brewster specifically, I felt like I could talk to him about certain things and have him not judge either me or Jim for.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people see that side of Brewster, so I'm hoping, because we're not on Brewsteria, that he's here on Horrorcraft, and this is Kylie and I's show, that we can kind of highlight some more of that of Brewster.
Well,
anything for my girls.
Brewster, you're a great friend. I know if, like, I was truly going through some shit, I could call you and you would listen. And you got the darkest, most degenerate humor of them all. And, like, you're, like, the happy-go-lucky guy, but, like, underneath it all, like, you have a very big heart, and you've been through some shit, bro. You've been through some shit.
He really has.
Well,
yeah. So,
first anything for my girls.
First question. What was life like growing up as little Brew?
It was all right. I mean, I was always kind of the outcast growing up because I didn't know what was trendy. I mean, I was your stereotypical, like, I'm 44 now, so kid of the 80s, I mean, I like to eat dirt to gross people out, and when they're playing basketball and stuff, I'm, drawing werewolves and vampires and watching Monster Squad and shit, as opposed to whatever music was popular at the time. I didn't even know good heavy metal. I really didn't know any kind of music at the time, just 80s stuff I didn't know the names of. And the only thing I was told about my taste of music as a child was my mom had to continuously pull me away from the television because I'd be sitting up close to the TV like this, watching Dee Snider's Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it, and I Want to Rock, all those classics. And she didn't want to, warping my delusional young mind there. But again, I was eating dirt and putting weird things on food just to have gross out contests at school,
Well, sorry, Mom. But Dee Snider did one on you.
Well, I mean, I obviously feel like that's kind of why Brewster and I are close the way we are, because I grew up in a very similar way. And I kind of, like, Brewster has always been the vampire person for me. Cue Brewster's first episode of Horrorcraft being subspecies. But I love that. And it's interesting because, like, people do kind of know you for doing music and stuff like that, and so to know that that's not like your main...
He's always out here.
He's always outside. He was just talking about having me go outside, maybe possibly over the summer with him at some point. And I was like, I'll try, but I gotta bring a mom friend with me, and we might have to duck out because I don't be staying up like that.
Listen,
like, I really don't.
It's what's going to keep Brewster young.
Brewster acts more my age
than I do.
Than I do.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't act. I act Brewster's age. Like, we have that flipped.
Oh, yeah, just because I'm out there on stage with bands here and there. I mean, my one song appearances, It keeps the audience entertained. It keeps them guessing. Not so much anymore. I mean, I'm getting requested now from people to do certain things, so it might become more of a common occurrence. We'll leave it at that.
Well, it
Brewster,
should.
we all know you're outside for Hot Girl Summer, okay?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The guy who doesn't date is out for Hot Girl Summer.
Yep.
You
Yep.
are.
So
I mean, in the best way possible.
You've really always kind of like been into horror from what it sounds. When do you think like you kind of like started struggling like mentally, emotionally, like
Dude, I've struggled with depression literally as far back as I can remember. From a little kid,
Yeah.
I'd be getting in trouble, and as a dramatic child, my first thought was, to like unalive myself and that kind of stuff, and it just kind of got worse as I went through, those so fun years, and you're 13, 14 years old and stuff, and yeah, I think when I was 15 years old, I did my first attempt. Didn't cut it. Didn't get the job done. I was in a coma for a month though, and
damn.
yeah, that wasn't the first time. That wasn't the last time. I'm sorry.
Damn. I've struggled with those thoughts probably since I was like 7. I've had lots of attempts, lots of things, but damn, man.
I still struggle with it. I just don't act on it anymore,
Right. Yeah. Well,
this year will be 20 years.
I feel like even when you were growing up and even like when we grew up, there just wasn't a lot of like depression, just suck it up type stuff.
Yeah.
And there just wasn't a lot of awareness or like ways for parents to be able to like help you deal with things, especially because a lot of times like parents were dealing with their own shit,
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, I feel like I feel like we just didn't know. We're not I think we're more aware of things now, especially when it comes to mental health, and especially mental health when it comes to men. We like to try to act like that's not a thing. And I think that's why I'm grateful that you do talk about it, that Rick and Tiki have been brave enough to talk about it, because I know for Kylie and I, raising kids, it's hard because that is something that's not stressed upon, especially when you're a guy. Like, you're just told to suck it up. And it
sucks.
And I feel like a lot of times we don't give grace to people who need it the most. And I do understand that too, because like Kylie was saying, when we grew up, that really wasn't a thing. Like, that was, it was kind of, oh, you just have to deal with it, and you just have to suck it up, and you have to show up no matter what the cost is. And I think, unfortunately, it kind of did put a lot of toxic culture of mental health in the back of a lot of our brains. So yeah, I definitely could see that.
Yeah, it's I have to sneak away sometimes on occasion because it's gotten. Kylie, answer your question. We'll come back to it.
So like after like what was your life like after high school, like once you're like finally an adult and like living your life? Like, did you go to college? Like, did you ever like get engaged? Like, was there ever talks of like kids? Like, I'm just trying to paint a picture here.
You're fine.
Yeah.
I was enrolled in college. I didn't really go. And I was there for 1 year, just for community college. And it wasn't for me. I really wasn't to go back to school after. Because I did fine in school as far as like having friends go. Because going back to as I got older, nothing changed except that I got the attention. I got attention from people by getting myself in trouble, because this may come as kind of a shock to you ladies in the audience, is I can be kind of a smartass sometimes. I'll let that sink in.
Not you.
Not Brewster. What are you talking about?
Gee.
I know it's a shock to me to have to even admit it to everyone. And I'm should we pause for a moment here so that people can like soak this in? So I would be a smartass to some of the douchebag teachers, and all the kids would laugh at it. I was like, "Oh, this is fun," and I didn't care that I didn't see recess, the last 2 years I was in elementary school because I was in detention because I was making people laugh,
Yeah.
and it was the same thing with high school. I did what I wanted to do. I didn't care what people thought, fuck the status quo and stuff, and you do you, I'll do me, whatever. So when I got out, I just wasn't ready for the school aspect. It wasn't like the social thing or whatever. And then I just never went back. I just I got in a band and then got another band. I mean, it was for, my early 20s. That was the, the band's going to make it, dude, that kind of shit. And I had some cool memories, and a lot of those guys I still talk with and stuff, but heavy metal and horror movies and stuff was really just I just kind of kept making my way. I don't know where else to go with that one. I mean.
But was there, did you ever, have any, girlfriends, almost getting married? I've just...
Yeah, I never got married, never almost got married, because the one when I was in my early 20s, and this kind of touches back on my addiction issues at the time, and I even hate saying that, because after talking to you and Tiki and stuff like that, I feel like what I went through was nothing, because mine were funny stories. They just it just wasn't a good lifestyle I was in. And I wronged this one girl I was dating towards in my early 20s, and we're still friends today. It took us 15 years, but she called me up one day finally and was like, "You were an asshole, but I was a bitch, and we were just talking together, but we buried the hatch." And she's one of my good friends today. I met her kids, met her husband, good for her, and that kind of stuff, but
yeah.
I had a lot of just, drinkings, and there was one summer there that I was dabbling in the booger sugar. And
for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, it's cocaine.
I don't want you to get, I don't know how this works with the algorithm and stuff, but
no, listen, algorithm, if you demonetize us because we said cocaine,
we're not even monetized. We're not even monetized.
Fuck you. Cocaine. There, I said it. Don't go after Brewster. I said it. Cocaine.
The
Fair
Rick
enough.
James shit.
Rick James, bitch.
Rick James, bitch.
Yeah, so I dated a girl after that, and she was fine with not being married because she had this mentality of, we lived together, it was close enough, marriage was just a piece of paper,
Yeah.
And then after her was leading into the next fun part of my story, and I'm going to lose so many people on this one. After her was the narcissist.
And how long were you with her?
With the beast, 7 years.
7 years? That's a long time.
Yeah, that's where the stories get fun here.
Now, was she a horror fan? How did you guys meet? I guess without, trying to, I don't know. We don't want to shed too much great light on her. I don't care who hears this.
No, of course not. So the one before her that we lived together, whatever, she had broken up in me in a kind of a shady method, and it wasn't horrible compared to what's happened since then, but it was still just kind of shady. So I did some kind of vague book posting and stuff, and I had known the beast through a mutual friend, so she'd hit me up, and I was asking if I was all right, whatever, and I was just kind of like, "Yeah, do you want to hang out, whatever? I need to get my mind off of things." And I realize now what they do, because around the time she hit me up was when I had this new lease on life. I wasn't. So me and my ex were done. That was it. I was out of there. I had my own place, whatever, and I had this new lease. I don't, whatever I did or wherever the relationship didn't work, doesn't matter. She's done. She's moved on. All I can do is better myself and try to be better for the next person. Whatever happens, I'm going to be okay, and that kind of stuff, So narcissists, as we all know, are drawn to that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I hate even saying it. See, I was with her for so long and dealt with so much of this shit. If I say something trying to think positive, or I know I'm a good person, and I know maybe I make mistakes, but I'm going to try and do better, I feel like I'm being conceited. I feel like I'm talking myself up and sucking my own dick.
Yeah.
So this if I kind of trail off or pause or something, it's because my brain is still to this day reminding me that it's okay to say something positive about yourself without coming off look at how awesome I am. You know what I mean?
I struggle with that. I struggle with even just saying I'm proud of myself or celebrating certain things that I've done. But it's not so much that I know I deserve these things. I know I have these good things with me, but I'm scared of, because of saying it out loud. I had this whole thing about how 2025 was such a good year for me. And like, I made a video, posted on Facebook, and I was just so scared because like, I said it out loud. 2026 is not like, there's going to be something really bad that happens. And that's just trauma. And like, that's just how my life has always been set up. Even though 2026, you can go straight to fucking hell because it ain't been great. It ain't been great, bro. Ain't been great.
Dude, anytime somebody gives me a compliment, even if it's for something like mental health, like you both have, my first thought is to ignore the comment, and my brain is telling me that I'm doing it for clout reasons, so people that can say, you know, oh, look how great you are, whatever. So like, I legit cringe anytime I get a compliment because my brain
I think a lot of the reason that we all do that, because I do that too, is we are. Listen, you could come after me for saying what I'm about to say next, but we are good people in the fact that we just don't want our success to diminish anybody else's or stomp over anybody else's feelings. And so I know, at least for myself, and this is something that I've definitely more even recently, like in the last week, had to kind of like have radical thinking with this and be like, I just don't give a fuck. Like, I am who I am, and I'm great, and that's how I'm going to take this on. It's interesting how grief will do that to you, but I think a lot of times we just think, okay, well, if we make our successes bigger, if we actually believe that, then we're trampling over other people, and that's not being humble. That's not being, friendly or kind, or when really that's not detracting from any. Just because I'm great doesn't mean you can't be great in the same space too.
I feel like since I joined since I joined Horrorcraft, and like honestly, since my mom died, and because of like being in the horror community now, I feel like I can take compliments a lot better than I used to be able to. Like, I really attribute a lot of that to Cass, because like,
don't say that.
I just I'm gonna cry.
God, don't start crying, because then I'll start crying.
I just I wouldn't know Brewster. I wouldn't be doing some of the things that I've done without my best friend. I've never always had friends that were good to me and believed in me, or like I couldn't outshine them or what, like, and God damn it.
This is not my fault.
I just there's just something really beautiful about me and Cass's friendship, but also like the horror community. Like, it's just so welcoming, and like, well, not always, because there's some fuck ass people, especially on the internet. Like, there is, and even just like people that make the movies or whatever, But
yeah, I get what you're saying though, because I feel the same way. And like, I don't think I'd be here on this right now talking to you guys if it wasn't for you and Brewster and Rick and Tiki and my friend Katie and just some of the people that have surrounded my there is a big part of me that has changed. I mean, it can't not, like, there are a lot of people that will say that they love somebody to death, but actually being there with somebody in their last final moments and actually, following through with that, like holding somebody's hand until they pass, is a whole other thing. And it's hard. And this has taught me a lot about friendship, a lot about humanity, a lot of just about things in general. So I think it's hard sometimes when we do see those sides of it. Because I know, like, for me, Kylie's kind of held me back for the fire, especially this last week. I was about ready to just burn this all to the fucking ground and give up on horror. And it was because there was just, as good as people are, there are other people that are not. And it's truly because if somebody sees you as like, oh, you're doing this, you're a good person, it's going back to what Brewster's saying. Like, and I could see that. Like, knowing Brewster, I know that, first of all, Brewster gives me the nickname Mama Cass. And listen, we're about to go into Mama Cass mode. So, first of all, the person that he's talking about, if you ever listen to this, just know that you are my fucking op. Like, we see each other in a parking lot, you go the opposite way because you fuck with Brewster, you fuck with me, and that's on sight. And anybody who thinks that I'm just this like talking head on the internet that's not going to do shit doesn't know who I am as a person, because I will 1000% go to bat for my friend. And how dare you treat my wonderful friend like that? Second of all, knowing Brewster, I could see that this person sees this good person inside of him and takes advantage of it.
Yeah, like I had one of my next questions was like, when did you start to notice things like early on with her, or was it kind of like a gradual thing?
So I did notice it early on because, I had the new lease on life. Like, it's like I don't have time for this. I'm not dealing with this shit, anger issues. And we broke up for a few, because it started in June and we split up, I think, end of August. And I was like, I don't need this shit. And and narcissism and stuff like that wasn't fuck. I didn't even know what the word was until I started dating this bitch.
Yeah.
And she gave me the Hoover after that, where she came back, oh, I've changed, and and she fooled me into it. And at that point, it just seemed like too late, because every time I'd be like, I'm done with this shit, get out, she would come back crying, and I'd fall for it. And there's memories I blocked out after she left, but there was, I think it was like 2017 or 18, somewhere around there. I was, scrolling through Facebook. I was at work, and the one time that the algorithm listening to was helpful was sending me these clickbait articles of, are you in an abusive relationship? And I'm looking at all these things that she was doing, and I'm like, dude. And I'd send her screenshots or send her the articles herself, because she just had me fighting with me that day. And, oh, you're just overreacting. You're being too sensitive. It's not like that. That kind of shit. Forgetting the fact that she just kicked my ass the night before. And, they just get it into you that you are the one overreacting, and that you are the one being, they start throwing out the tears and stuff, and being a sucker for that kind of stuff. You're just going to like, okay, because, your brain blocks out the negative shit. That's why you get trauma bonded, because your brain does it to protect yourself. It blocks out the 6 days and 23 hours of the week that she was giving you shit, and focuses on the 1 hour that she love bombing you and gave you the breadcrumb of the dopamine rush. And you're like, oh, if I work harder, if I'm nicer to her, if I'm more understanding, I can get that back. This is on me. Yeah. This is my problem to fix.
Now, was there anything, like, looking back, like, I don't want to go into anything you don't want to go into, but anything
You're
like
fine. Go ahead.
in your like childhood that like were reasons why maybe like you would attract someone like that? Because like a lot of times like there's just a lot of childhood trauma or certain things that happen to us that like we're drawn to like these types of people.
I don't know. The only thing I can remember really from my childhood that was a pain in the ass was going back to being like the outcast into horror movies and heavy metal music. Mm-hmm. Not in elementary school, but later on in junior high school and high school. And I don't mean to dog all the teachers. There's some really good ones. One's actually on my Facebook friends, and he supports me and stuff. But there were some that just didn't want to give you any attention because you were not wearing FUBU or Tommy Hilfiger or something. And I remember this one science teacher, Mr. Goebel, you can go fuck yourself, you fat piece of shit. I'd be asking him, like, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Can you help me out? And he'd just be like, yeah, just go. And he'd walk away. But then the trendy kids, he'd pull up a chair and start helping them. And I'd be like, hey, dickhead, I'm friends with those assholes. You know what I mean? I'm talking to them and sneaking smokes them in the bathroom after class, you know? So why don't you give me the same fucking attention you're giving them, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of like just being ignored and having to kind of like lash out or act out or something to be like, look at me. Not because I was an attention whore. It's because I just wanted to fucking pass my goddamn test.
Yeah.
Not be a fucking idiot, you know? And then they ignore you for so long. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I'm going to go to sleep. Fuck you.
Well, and I think that like trying to trying to do certain crazy things, like for the people you care about, like even in childhood, that translates later on into relationships. Like you take certain things from people and certain types of abuse because you just want to be loved. Like you want someone to give a fuck. You know what I mean? So like you're willing to do whatever.
So what probably drew me to her was she was attractive and she was doing the love bombing thing, which people like me who came from a bad breakup and wanted, attention or whatever, that's perfect for us. And the fun part about narcissism or narcissists is they mirror you to get you hooked.
Yeah.
So then they start to pull away. They start to breadcrumb you. They start to let the mask slip a little bit, whatever. And because you're so hooked on that first person that you fell for, you think it's on you. And you're like, well, if I just do more of this, it must have been something I did because there's no other reason she would lash out. You know what I mean? So you blame yourself for it. And
well,
so you
then a
work
lot
your
of
ass
times they will blame it on you as well. Like,
yeah. Oh, they blame it on you regardless.
I am like this because of you, and you're not doing this, that, and the other, or just you don't love me, or like just things like that. But it's never, they can't ever take like accountability or responsibility for any part in anything.
Oh yeah, if I got kicked in the nuts by her right now, it would be okay because 10 years ago I flicked her in the shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as someone, like, I've dealt with this in the past before too. Obviously, like, Brand's dad was a huge example of that, and that's why I feel like I can relate. But just knowing Brewster, I said this the other day, Brewster didn't even know this, but Brewster reminds me a lot of my uncle in the ways that Kylie does. Brewster has a big heart, and I can see Brewster getting attached to somebody and trying to consistently give them the benefit of the doubt and not realize that they're railroading that person's railroading them. Like, that breaks my heart too, because we all know that I just adore Brewster, and Brewster is like my family, and it breaks my heart that like Brewster would get treated like that, because I want the world to see the Brewster that I see, like the Brewster that I love. And that's the friend that's helped like pick me up off the floor.
Fucking hate you ladies.
And the person that's been there for me, like, that's the person that like my child knows as Uncle Brewster, like the one that really has
suck, I'm telling you right now.
But it's just hard because it is one of those things, like, and I know exactly what you were talking about, Kylie, because I'm the same way. Like, the reason I have a lot of problems with it, and I've never had a drug addiction, but my addiction of choice has always been being in love with somebody and giving them the benefit of the doubt. And I think a lot of times I love people who can never fully love me back the way that I want them to, because that's exactly how my father is.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that my dad is a bad person, because Lord knows, like, I'm in front of here now and I'm not I had to get something good from him, and like I've come more to peace with it, but it is hard. But just like knowing Brewster and the person he is, I can see him like wearing his heart on his sleeve after going through something like that, wanting somebody to love him and just putting up with a level of shit that he shouldn't have put up with.
I think, Brewster, me and you are a lot alike. Like, we show emotion, but like we don't just be showing it to show it. Like, we do it like when it counts, and for like the people that we love. You know what I mean? So like, but when we do it, I wouldn't say it's almost like a grand gesture, but like it just holds more weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, bruh. Yeah, that's just, I don't know. What was your like what was like outside of like her, what else was kind of like going on in your life during that time period of your guys' relationship?
That was pretty much it, man. I mean, she hooked her nails in her heels in, and it just, I was struggling financially where I was working at the time, or with this position I had at the time, and she wasn't contributing anything to the rent for the longest time till we got the condo. And it was just kind of trying to, make ends meet and enjoy my life and kind of stuff. But meanwhile, getting hell every weekend because of something I did before I even met her. Or that was really it, I mean, just your same kind of stuff I'm doing now or whatever, just with the added weight of having to carry her and get in trouble for it at the same time, and then lose a couple friends because they become flying monkeys and shit.
Yeah. Now, like, was she a horror fan?
Not really. I mean, she liked them to an extent, but like, I towards the end there, I started getting in trouble for that too, because some chick flick would come on the TV or something like that, and she's like, that looks pretty good, and I'm like, yeah, no. She's like, oh, because it's not fucking horror. It's like it's a chick flick. That's why I don't like it. Unless it's got Jason Bateman or Anna Kendrick in it, I'm not gonna want to watch it.
I mean, you like what you like. I mean, I get it.
It's no reason to give me hell for it, though. It's just like anything and everything they can complain about,
Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like that's super important in a relationship as a horror fan. Like, it's just easier when the other person likes horror movies. Like, Dakota, he doesn't really like them, but he watches them with me. But I will say, out of any subgenre, he does like some found footage horror.
He does.
And like, I love it. And he tries. Like, he doesn't, I don't know, he tries. Like, I'll show you guys right here. This is a piece of wood paneling from the 1984 Nightmare on Elm Street house. Certificate of authenticity. You can't really say it.
I'm gonna take my glasses off because I'm already crying, but like,
yeah, our periods are syncing up apparently.
Yes,
of course they would. But yeah, you need that, because I know for me, like, the one thing I can say about Jim is he let me be who I was. He loved me for the me I was, and even though we had our moments with it, he didn't care that I was cast that held the vampire dictionary. He didn't care that I was cast watching Dracula for the 27th time. You need somebody that, even if that's not their thing, that they're going to want to do that for you. And that's important. Because, you need space to feel like you can be yourself. And we all want that. So
now, how did your family feel about her?
So they liked her at first because she, like a lot of them, would put the mask on, but after so many years, they get cocky and then it just starts slipping, and she would just be bitchy when she was over there. She'd give me shit, whatever, and they didn't know what was going on behind closed doors. So the summer my brother passed away and stuff, they didn't know that I was trying to be there for my parents as well as my pregnant sister while suffering abuse behind closed doors. And it wasn't until, so she broke up with me in September of 22, but I didn't get her out of the house or out of the condo until June of 23. She refused to move until I finally called the police on her. I still have the recordings of that day and shit. And I'll tell you, that's one of my favorite things. I'm kind of segueing here, but I wanted to get this out there. It seems kind of off topic, but I'll tell you, ladies, right now, the same thing I told Rick and Tiki and Cass when we were doing talking tapes. Lord knows there's recordings of me saying some volatile shit, and I'm going to own up to it right now. That was fucking reactive abuse.
Yeah.
That's where they poke at you and 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 poke at you, and then you 100%. Snap. And like, how could you do that to me?
Yeah. It's your problem when they push you to that level, and I get that, because like,
I'm just saying, that just comes out of the thing. I'm owning up to it right now. There's some horrible shit on video, I'm sure, but that was after, fuck, man, like 4 or 5 hours of getting, screamed at on a weekend,
I mean, I'll be the first person to say, listen, there are probably things of me from back in the day that are not the most flattering. Like, when I went through my situation with Braden's dad, I was a new mom dealing with postpartum, didn't know how to be a wife, shouldn't have been with the person that I was with, And that person just so happened to think that it was cool to put a knife in my back and try to kill me in front of my child. And I could tell you that I probably said some really fucked up shit. And I probably have said some pretty fucked up shit since then in the moment. I mean, we all have our limitations. I mean, I've had some like dark, fucked up thoughts since all of this have happened. And I can own up to the fact that that's happened and that I might have said things or thought of things that weren't great in the time. But then later on, kind of reeled myself back and realized that, oh, this is because I'm going through this. Like, you can't just do that. I don't think that makes you any less of a person. Like you're human. You're human. And I've been around you, I don't know how many different times, and you've never once, like, you hit on Jim more than you hit on me. Like, let's be honest. Like, you are
Dakota's
not that
next, Kylie. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Dakota will get that treatment. Like, it's fine. But like, you're the first person, like, you'll call us honey or hey sweetie or whatever. But like, if it actually
I bet she hated that. I bet she hated that.
She wasn't the only one.
Now,
I want to. Last year didn't care for it either.
Well, she doesn't matter.
Fuck her.
I want to circle back. You mentioned about your brother passing away. Like, what was that? What was that like? I mean, just for you, but also like, how was she during that time?
So he had addiction issues since about 2012, and without going to that whole timeline thing, it was June. It was actually right after our anniversary, like a couple of days. I want to say it was June 7th. It was a Sunday, and I had the day off. My mom called me and told me to give him a call. And like, why? He's like, oh, because he's bummed about him and his wife getting the divorce. And I'm like, he's gonna have to suck it up, man. He OD'd and went back to rehab how many times? Put her kids around, that kind of stuff. I mean, he's got to kind of own up to it at this point. This isn't, you left the toilet seat up. This is some serious shit that happened over and over and over again. And so I was like, I'll call him later, So I came home and I was playing some video games, and I sent him a movie quote, which is what we kind of do in our family. And nothing. I figured, I tried calling him. I think it went. I don't know if it went to. I got the voicemail. Whether it went right to voicemail or just kept ringing, I don't remember. She came home from work. She was working on the weekends at that point, and my mom had called me and said that he had passed away. She got a call from one of his friends who was meeting him. So I'm like, just fucking. I went and told her, and she, me and my mom were talking about this recently. She was actually very nice that day when it happened. She didn't give us any, didn't give me any shit, whatever. Actually, the only issue I had, which it may sound stupid, but this was a sum up for how she was obviously we were going to go see my mom because she just lost her second born kid. But my ex was like, well, let me smoke up real fast before we go. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We really can't sit around and wait for you to get high before we go see my mom who just lost her son.
Yeah.
This wasn't like, let me take a quick one-hitter thing. This is, I got to pack this bowl. I got to roll this joint. I got to pack this bong. I got to do whichever method it was. And I'm just kind of sitting here like, oh, no, I've got time, And so she was fine through that. But, that only lasted a couple days. And then it was kind of like, I went to work Monday. I don't know why. And I had ended up going home or whatever. And she was off that day, So I came home and I sat on the edge of my bed and I just started crying. And she consoled me and stuff, but it didn't stop her from going to her best friend's house and getting high for the day. So I kind of just hung around the condo by myself,
Losing your brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry. If you have a loved one that doesn't just drop everything, or a partner when something like that happens, listen, Kylie's my best friend, and when I told her what was going on, she about came up here. Like, I was the one that was like, no, like, I'm having a hard time seeing this. You need to stay away. Like, I'm the one that told her, but it didn't stop her from checking my location, from worrying about me. And anyone who knows Kylie knows that she is not she's okay with hugging, but she's not the most person that wants to hug. And she just, as soon as she got up here Mother's Day weekend, she hugged me and she just wouldn't let me go, and she kept hugging me and wouldn't let me go because she was worried about me. And if you don't have somebody that's going to worry about you like that, that's not the person you should be with. And I actually have a question, but if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. But my question is, I know going through what I'm going through right now, a lot of times you have regrets about like when somebody passes. And knowing you and knowing the kind of person you are, I just have to wonder if going through that experience with your brother and just the things that you've gone through, if that's why you push so hard with mental health and with being authentic and presenting this picture online because you want to help people.
Yeah, because I know how fucking dark it gets, and that's when I started the Brewster page, was February 23, because she had she was still here, and I was just looking for any reason I could to take my mind off of things. So I'm like, well, I'll make a page it's all about horror movies. I'll make a new identity or whatever, and there was no movie of the week, there was no YouTube videos, there was no anything like that. It was just legit, just random horror memes. Oh, I like this song from Maniac Cop. It was just random shit, like my miscellaneous weeks I do now. So that's why I started the Brewster thing, was because she I wanted something to take my mind off of it. And actually there was a way to kind of spite her too, because I was starting to get to that spot where, because every time, because she was just trauma bonding me more and more as she stayed here, because I was like, I didn't care at this point. I got to the point where I wanted to work it out with her, because that's what, what you do when you're trauma bonded. But on the other end, I just wanted it over. I'm like, I don't care what happens, just end it. And so she kept pushing more and more. She got more violent. She got more loud. She got more accusatory. I was video chatting with her one time at my mom's house, video chatting, and my mom's couch with the dog and my mom there. She had my location. We shared each other's locations. She still hung up the phone and told me I was cheating on her.
At that point, it's just like, this is what you're wanting, so then you have a reason to either leave or just abuse you.
Yeah, and so, yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons that, I guess, one of the things that segued into mental health, because I didn't start doing that till this year. But, it was just all about horror movies, just to keep my mind off. And then when she left, because I was oh dear, my friend Brandy, she's married to my buddy Wayne. She's like, we're really tight. I always call her my snuggle buddy, despite the fact we don't actually snuggle. It's more of a George Bush, Michelle Obama type joke. Because they would always say that they would snuggle during movies, so I always called her my snuggle buddy. Because when I first made the Brewster page, I got really bored at work. And let's add a little humor into this video, ladies. So what I did was, before anyone got there, I had my phone. As you know, if you have two profiles, you can switch into accounts. And I was literally arguing with myself. I would post something as Brewster, log into my old profile, comment on the Brewster, go back to the Brewster, make that comment, go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I just thought it was funny. And I had a couple people who were like commenting, like, you are a psychologist wet dream. And Brandy had messaged a couple of our friends up, like, he's arguing with himself on Facebook. I'm like, oh, that's just, who. So I did it just to kind of, just to have fun with it and make some, just make people laugh or whatever. And it wasn't until, I think a following year later, I went through yet another one, because the fun part of being a domestic abuse survivor is that you'll meet people who will take advantage of that. And what they do is they claim their ex is crazy. So you think, oh, I can bond with this person. And then they start to pull in the same bullshit. And if you think it's bad domestic abuse, going through it from somebody who claims to know your past and doing the same thing your ex did to you, dude, seriously, there's a special level in hell for those fuckers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's like me losing somebody, and then Cass calls me up because she feels she can confide in me because I know the pain of losing somebody or whatever. And not to say you don't, Kylie. I'm just for the example of the story. And I've got her back. I'm here for her 100%. And all of a sudden I twist on her and I make her feel like shit about it. It's like, dude, I trusted you because you knew my fucking pain.
Yeah.
And you turned it on me. I mean, that makes me worse than anybody who would inflict the initial damage. And that's happened to me twice now. So
it's almost like it's a certain level of like evil calculation, and it's just like you think that like shit's fucked up, but then like you meet somebody like that, and then you're like, people are really fucked up. Like your mind almost sometimes can't even like wrap your head around it, because like because it's like I would never do this to anybody. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm a very observant.
That's the thing that
I'm a very observant person. I like to say like I'm kind of calculating a little bit, because like I just don't trust every fucking buddy. I don't, because
I mean you have a reason though too, and to be honest, like I get why you feel that way, and especially now going through this has helped me see a level of humanity that both on the good and the bad that you not going through that doesn't prepare you for. Like only truly going through something as heartbreaking as what I'm going through right now, not to make it about myself, but to relate back to Brewster, it does make you kind of a sponge. Because I know for me, like, there have been some things that have happened recently where people just thought that they could poke at me because that's the cast that they've seen before. And it's just like, okay. But, and it pushes you to a point where you're like, that Cassandra is no longer alive. She is gone. She is dead. She died with her fiance. You are a different person. And I going back to what Brewster was saying, it breaks my heart for Brewster, because I love Brewster, and the fact that two people treating him that way pissed me off. So anybody who decides to date Brewster in the future better keep their eyes peeled, because Kylie and I are hot on the trail, and like we're not letting anybody treat Brewster like that. Goes for Rick and Tiki as well. If you mess with any of the talking tapes,
they're
guys,
just fuckboys.
You're going to have to deal with me.
Bro, Tiki just wants a nice girl to like lay in bed with and feed chicken wings and watch WWE with, and horror movies.
Yeah.
That's all he wants in life.
Yeah. And that's all I want for them. But like, as somebody who struggles with the person that they put forward, and sometimes the person that they're behind everything and the things that I don't talk about, that's what I admire about you talking about things with other people through mental health. Yeah. Because I don't think a lot of people realize the pain that does go through. And even though Kylie and I can sit up here and be honest and authentic, there are certain things that we hold back for a reason, because we're processing through it. And I think a lot of times we feel like we're alone. Yeah. And this can be very hard. And as much as the horror community is great, there are pockets of it that are not. And there are people who are willing to sell their soul for things that you can't even dream of. And so to see somebody that you care about authentically talking about who they are as a person, and not only that, but talking about abuse from a man's perspective, like, I absolutely adore that you do that, because more people should be talking about that. Like, just because you're a man doesn't stop you from being mistreated by somebody. It doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make you any less of a, and honestly, in my eyes, it's one of the reasons I love you more. Like, to me, I love the fact that you are as open as you are about these things. It really shows me your strength as a person. Yeah. Because I just know, as a woman who is raising a man, my child is 13, like, it is important that these things don't keep happening. Like the whole ideology of, oh, well, boys are just supposed to put up with this, or men are supposed to. I think it's absolute fucking bullshit.
I've
Well,
just
I'll never forget when. Go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Brewster. Go ahead.
I'll never forget when her moving day. I was sitting at my dad's house because it's finally getting her out of there and whatnot, and I had sent her a text like, "Hey, just I told my sister and brother-in-law to come over at 6:30. We're gonna run the what's it called for hardwood floors?
The
wet vac,
like,
the wet dry vac.
Yeah.
Because people were gonna be traipsing in the house all day with shoes on. I was like, whatever, but they're just gonna help me clean up afterwards. And she called me up just screaming at me, "You knew this was fucking movie day." And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to tell her this. And your trauma-induced brain, it just immediately went to tears. And I remember sitting there with my dad, because we had new locks we were going to put on for obvious reasons. And we were going to wait till she got all her stuff out. I think she was going to get the bulk of the furniture that night, and then like a day or two later come back for the small stuff, and we were going to change them then, whatever. And I remember sitting there and getting off the phone with her and just being, misty-eyed, teary-eyed, whatever I was doing. And he's like, dude, why are you sad about this? This is a good thing. And I had to just kind of lower my head and tell my father that over the...
Take your time.
Take your time.
That a few times over the years we dated, that she'd gotten physical, and telling your father that and seeing him keep his composure as he just realized his firstborn son has told him that he's been getting abused for the past 7 years. And he just quietly said, "We're changing those fucking locks tonight." He's like, "I don't need to be worrying tonight that she's going to come in while you're sleeping holding a pillow over your head." And I hope I never have to. I hope I never have to tell him that again, or that you ladies have to hear that from one of yours.
Well, I think first off, kudos and like all the love to your dad for like reacting in
Papa
such
Brewster.
for reacting in such a loving way, because I don't feel like a lot of parents even get that, whether you're a female or a male getting abused, but like, yeah, you've not dated some of the greatest women since I've known you, but I think you have the ability to stop and cut it off before things start to get like sketchy. You know what I mean? So
As much as I could.
I know you're not going to probably ever be with somebody that is not going to be okay with you having female friends or being like friends with us, things like that.
Oh, I'm sure Sammy alone is cock blocking the hell out of me.
Listen, we like Sammy. She cute.
We like Sammy. She is cute.
Sammy, I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
I'll show her that she likes her shout outs. She likes her shout outs.
I just want to see somebody who will actually love Brewster the way I want him to be loved. And again, this is the same thing I hope for all of you. I don't think people realize when I joined the Talking Tapes Collective, I was not in a good place in my life, Kylie, and I had just kind of had it out a little bit, and we had talked about me taking care of myself, and somehow through connecting with Brewster and Tanner and Rick, I somehow got this family that I never realized I wanted, never knew I needed, but God damn it, I know I need them now. And I just want somebody to love you the way that I think you need to be loved, the way that I wish I could see somebody loving you.
The way that you
love
your family
us.
And your friend, like, you say horrible things on Facebook for jokes, but like when it comes down to it, at the core of who you are, like that's not who you are, and like you love people, and like I don't know. While I've been in a lot of shitty relationships, and I've been with Dakota, it'll be 8 years in July. I'm married for 7 in October, and I have a good husband. I got a good one. Hasn't been always great, absolutely not, but no relationship is. And
listen, Dakota, anything you need to know about Dakota is the fact that not only did he's just kind of rolled with, he now has to deal with me for the rest of his life, and to the point of he literally was joking about making a stand for the iPad so I could be like Karen on SpongeBob, and they could just wheel me through all the moments. But like, Dakota is just a good person, and I'm not saying that just because Kylie is here, but like, they both have just made sure that as much as Kylie loves me, Dakota also equally has checked on me and made sure I'm okay, and wanted me to be there for me.
Well,
so
like Dakota, like his past relationships, like he's been with a lot of volatile women, and just took a lot of things. And have we fought pretty crazy? Absolutely. And like, I don't know, also because of trauma, I just sometimes am just always waiting for the other shoe to drop, even after all this time. I don't know if that will ever fucking go away. I really don't.
It won't, but
it's hard, even like, it's hard even when you do finally find that person, and letting your guard down, and just even allow, like, I deserve this. I deserve to be with somebody like this. It can just be hard, because like I'll just be like, well, fuck you, I'll just be alone, I don't give a shit. But really, who wants to be alone? None of us want to be alone.
You know, it's I don't disagree with you, but my brain goes to the fact of getting somebody in here again and then finding out she's like the ex or whatever. Why do you think on, was it December 23rd when Jenny broke it off, nobody knew for months? Because I literally just, my humor was the same, unless you were like creeping the profile and saw that the status went from relationship to single.
I was about to say, to be fair,
I don't think that super like got under your skin like I do know about other old girl did. But but for very, like, there is like very valid reasons as to why the shit with her got under your skin. Like,
and listen, I just want to say something to Kylie and I's credit. Kylie and I are not the kind of people to comment on people's looks like that, especially because I look like this. I can't even say that though, because I'm a fucking plus size baddie. And y'all can suck my dick. But when it comes to Kylie and I, we don't be just talking about people's looks. But if you treat our friend like shit, nothing's off limits. I'm just going to tell you that straightforward.
Yeah, there's certain things that if you do, like if you're taking it to hell, going below the belt, going low as fuck.
Listen, it's the Cardi B thing. Is I've let this slide way too many times, but when I pop out and I say some crazy shit, then y'all are upset because I drag it all the way to fucking hell. Kylie and I don't be out here talk about people's looks, but to that point, it's because when you treat somebody that we care about like that, it's hard. And for me, what Brewster has been through reminds me a lot of the things that Jim put up with in life when him and I met. And things that it took, like, he never fully got over. And things that I really just tried to love him unconditionally, no matter where we were in our relationship for. And that's what I would hope that somebody would do for Brewster, is just even love them past that type of, give them the grace and love them unconditionally, no matter the hurts and the hang-ups, and really try to just create somebody, because when Jim and I first met, we were two very broken fucking people. And even towards the end, we were two fucking really broken people. But the one thing I could say is, till his very last breath, until my very last breath, I will love him as a human for as long as I'm alive. And it's because I loved him as a person and unconditionally on that level more than anything else. Even if things were bad, I loved him as a person, and especially for who he was to my child, and the fact that he didn't owe me or Braden anything, and the man he was. But that that kind of same spirit is the same kind of stuff that Brewster has been through. So I see a lot of that, and especially going through what I've just gone through, I am very protective, especially of him, Tanner, and Rick, because they are all kind of the same personalities. That's why we all get along. So yeah, don't fuck with my talking tapes, guys, because I love them, and you will not find a really great side of Cass on the other side of that. Because I love Brewster.
I get what you're saying there with that one, because that same one from last year, I feel that, the same thing. Like I'll always care about her, and I out of all of them, she's the one I think still, hopefully there was goodness in her, and it was just her issues that got the best of her, and I'll always hope that she gets shit together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other ones, they're lost causes, but I still, and I'm not going too much into that here, but I still will always hope that she, you know what I mean? So I get what you're saying, Cass. It's like I'll always care about that part of her.
Yeah, you'll always care about that person no matter what. And to that point, like, I very much loved Jim romantically. It's just when you go through 12 years of sometimes your relationship always isn't in the greatest place. And it's only after you go through something like this that you realize. And for me, it has been really hard. There have just been things since then that showed me that I am the last thing on his mind. And I would hope that anybody, through the good, bad, and ugly, would experience that type of love, is loving somebody completely for who they are, regardless of where you're at with them, and loving them to the very end, because that's what love should be. And you should even just love somebody on such a deep human level if you're with them for that period of time. So I have always wanted the best for you and Tanner and Rick, but it always has just upset me just a little bit that women can't get their fucking act together and treat Brewster right. I'm not saying I'm not trying to come after all women. So, but if you're in the Cleveland area and you're a good woman, please hit Kylie and I's line up, and Kylie's already got the waiting list.
Yeah, I love you to death, Brewster. I really just, I love the stuff with mental health that you're doing. I wish my dad could have been able to, I wish he could have been able to do something like saying more of how he felt instead of, other things, except just saying like, I'm not going to be around much longer and things like that. And just like, I just being transparent, being vulnerable, because maybe he would still be here, and maybe he would be helping somebody else. Like, I just think it's very important that men are talking about these struggles, because there's so many men commit suicide a lot more than women do. And it's also, there's just so much to do with it. Like, I think with my dad, there was a lot of generational trauma. There was a lot of horrific childhood trauma and things that were inflicted on him that are just absolutely unspeakable to do to a child. and it carried into his life and who he was as a man and a parent, and he could not combat it. And you add alcohol in there, and it's just a recipe for disaster. But I just think this stuff is very important. And I also think, like, with society, like, the expectations that we place on men, and that's why the rates in men who commit suicide are higher than women, because they're just supposed to shoulder everything. And, like, yes, they're the strong ones, the providers, the protectors, but, like, they got fucking feelings too, bro. They got feelings too.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean shit. And to piggyback off of it, I could say the same thing, because as somebody, quite literally, the platform that we are all sitting on right now was built from my trauma, my domestic violence trauma, and the domestic violence that I experienced. And having been through that myself, seeing you talk about it openly, I know I talk about it, but knowing that somebody else is transparent about it and somebody is trying to make good out of bad, I know how that is. I know how that can sometimes be to the detriment of yourself, how that can feel, opening up those wounds, leaving yourself open for that kind of hurt. But I appreciate it because you are just doing so much by showing that, and I truly mean this when I say that I have never, ever, ever thought less of you because you went through it. If anything,
Yeah.
I thought more of you. I have thought of you as one of the strongest people I know, but also one of the most vulnerable, one of the most kind, one of the most loving people that I know. And it's because you've been through that. And for the people who are lucky enough to see that beautiful side of you, it is wonderful. So the fact that you're letting more people see that side of you makes me happy, because I just wish there was more of Brewster energy in the world. Maybe not the deeply profanic joke side, but the
starved, degenerate
side. We could take that too.
Hey,
but
it's a little something for everybody. Okay.
but
Yeah.
but the side that, and again, I say this as somebody who is raising a child, and you are somebody that I adore, and I know that my child going through something like that, he's never going to be alone, because he's got Uncle Dakota, Uncle Zach, Uncle Brewster, Uncle Tiki, Uncle Rick, and they're never going to let him go through those things by himself. And that's the side of you that I just want more people to see, because you are such a beautiful human being. The way that you love and you pour into people, you check on people all the time.
Yep.
I mean, you make sure that I am solid. You've made sure and gone above and beyond to make sure that I'm solid during this. And a lot of people just wouldn't. A lot of people would just fade into the background. But through all of this,
Bro,
you have just consistently.
You showed up when I showed up.
Yeah.
When I came to town. Yeah, guys, me and Brewster finally met in person. In a loud-ass Cheesecake Factory. You guys, Cassandra is lucky. She took me to a busy restaurant in the area of where she lives. And you guys know I don't leave the holler often, and a lot of people I'm not a fan except if it's a horror convention. But yeah, Brewster pulled up and he came through and we had a great time.
We did, but just being able to talk to both of you about things that I feel like I had been holding back from the reason I knew I could do that is because you two are one of the few group of people that I feel like I can actually authentically be myself, good, bad, ugly, and in between, because you give me the space to be the good, bad, ugly, and everything in between. And I can't hide from you guys, even if I tried. You both would come looking for me. I mean, Rick would fire up the Escalade, and he'd be, picking up Brewster and Tanner, and they'd be, trying to find me. Like I couldn't hide if I wanted
road
to.
Trip.
Yeah, it would be a Talking Tapes road trip to find Cass and get her out of her shit.
Well, that's one of the reasons I started it, was because, I posted, like you and Kylie had said earlier, whatever, you'll see one weekend I'm at some convention, and the next weekend I'm like in 2 separate sets of Ohio in the same night, visiting different sets of friends. And then the third weekend I'm on stage with one of the bands doing a guest appearance in the song or whatever, and on paper and on the page, whatever, my life looks fucking cool,
Yeah.
and I have my shit moments, sometimes more than I like to admit, and I realize that if I'm having those and people see that, I'm trying to word this without looking like, without the backpacking or the backpatting again. We'll say it's unconventional.
You're fucking
back. Pat your fucking back. Talk your shit, friend.
We'll say it's an unconventional lifestyle. Like, you don't see that kind of stuff every day, of being all over the place.
Yeah, but
listen,
the thing about it...
Wait a minute. I'd be surprised when I see a video of you up in your house, because you just be out here like a social little butterfly. Quite literally.
So from on paper and stuff, it looks like it's like nonstop fun or whatever, but it's not. And I think if I show people that side, or I figured if I showed people that side, which the reason for that one promo I did before me and Kylie did our first episode, where it's like, what we show and what we don't, whatever, it shows people, holy shit, even someone who posts all this fun stuff goes through it. Maybe I'm not alone. I'm not, not normal or whatever they want is, you know what I mean? It's like, so, and that's why I like people's stories coming on there, because I've always, since I started the real Brewster thingy, since the, February 24, after the February nut job, the horror community has your back, despite some shady fuckers, which you're going to have anywhere you go. We're all close-knit group who latched on to horror because of past trauma, most likely. And it's hopefully inspiring to people, like, listen, you can beat this stuff, you can get through it, you just got to rely on friends. You can't it sucks, dude, I fight daily these days to not go back to my old school drinking and partying stuff. Like I told Kylie, and I think Tiki on our interviews, was, I fought so hard to just go back to my old stomping grounds just for one night of just complete reckless blackoutness, whatever. And the thing that stopped me was sitting there saying, no, I know I could stop. And I was like, right there, I'm not doing it, because that'll turn into, well, I can stop whenever. So now I can go out tonight as well. And then, well, I can go out next Friday and Saturday as well, because I can stop whenever I want, and next thing you know, I'm not checking in on you ladies. I'm missing interviews. Mr. Beans isn't getting fed on time, and just missing all this stuff, and
eventually,
because you want to go back to that old shit and just not feel it for a night, but
yeah. But eventually, I mean, there are like a lot of people that are kind of like in the scenes that you're in that can like casually drink. They can casually do cocaine, and like their life's not going up in fucking flames, and they're not doing horrible, horrific shit and stealing from everybody, to get more. But it also, like, eventually for a lot of people, and it's just, it can be the right time where like you're not gonna be able to put it down, you know what I mean? And that's when it can turn into just full-blown drug addiction.
I had a slip up last year with the bumps, I just did a couple, and first time in 9 years, and I felt like total shit afterwards. And not like coming down because I'm used to the hangover, but just that I let myself down after 9 years of not touching it. And I told my boss at work, I pulled him aside. I was like, it's not an issue. It's not going to become an issue. I'm telling you on a personal level, because I'm kind of feeling down on myself right now. And he's like, it's like, it happens, man. I'm not worried about you slipping, because I can see your reaction now, and it could happen again in another 9 years. I don't know. But I mean, I have to just literally stay away from it, because if it was placed out in front of me right now, it'd be hard for me to just fucking get up and walk away,
Yeah, they say, like, in recovery, you keep going to the barbershop, you're gonna get a haircut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to leave
That
the
was
room. You know, I've got.
that was some old timer NAAA language there for you.
When the last time I was able to be around it and say no was because it was just a few months after my brother passed away from it. So even I was like,
Yeah.
don't fucking do it. You know, it
Yeah.
was easy then because if that was the same shit, but that's long gone now. So it's kind of like I just have to just make sure I stay away from it. If you got it, cool. Go in the other room, do what you got to do. Just keep it away from me. You know.
Well,
But
I just
think walking away is strong enough. You know.
well, now, like, with, like, cocaine and, like, fentanyl, I know a lot of people that have overdosed thinking they are doing coke, or they're doing just other various different kinds of drugs, and it's being laced with fentanyl, and some are lucky to make it out alive, some are not. Like,
That's what took out my brother. It was fentanyl in the coke.
yeah, and it's fucking terrible. Like, it is so fucking horrible, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, just leave certain other drugs alone, because, like, I've heard of them lacing it in, like, marijuana. Like, y'all are turning potheads into dope fiends. Like, that's a fucking problem. That is a fucking problem. And,
I
like,
mean,
it's just I don't know. I don't see where it's great for the drug business as a dope boy, but, like, I guess it is. I've never been a dope boy. I've been a dope user, so I don't know.
My whole thing is like, tomorrow is not promised, and you never know what is going on. And as somebody that is currently going through this, I didn't know the day before everything happened to Jim that he was dying, and that he was secretly dying inside. And so, as somebody who has kind of been imparted this wisdom and this trauma, and probably is going to be fucked up for a really long time about things, just because things really haven't fully hit me on the other side yet. Don't take anything for granted. Do not. If you love somebody, tell them in that moment. If you want to make amends with somebody, you try in that moment. You do what you feel like you need to do in that moment, because you don't know what is going tomorrow. So I say that to say, as somebody who cares about you, the world is a better place with Brewster in it. And what you're doing as a person and as a creator is just something I fully believe in. And that's why I will always go up to bat for you, because I care about you, not only on a human level, but I care about who you are and what you're doing. So I think we just need more of that. We need more of peeling off the mask, because anybody could get on this screen and talk shit about horror. They might not be wrong. They might not, like Kylie says, they might not be like a dictionary like me, but anybody could get on here and try to talk shit about horror. But for somebody to relate it on a human level and relate to people on a human level, especially people you don't know, that is a far better endeavor than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that I truly believe in, and something that we've built Horrorcraft on.
And I think talking about all of these things, like, real life can be a lot fucking scarier than a movie. It just can. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit here and watch the scariest fucking horror movie of all time, but I guarantee you, like, the shit I have experienced and dealt with, it's a whole hell of a lot scarier. And I know there's a lot of people that have went through way worse shit than I have, that is a lot scarier than fucking just Hellraiser coming at you, or fucking the Hell House Clown. Well, I don't know, man. That's pretty fucking scary.
That is, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's the whole adage of, you don't know who you really have in your corner until you bury somebody, until you're going through some of the worst parts of life, whether you're breaking up with somebody is abusing you and you're trying to get out of that. These are real life things that people need to relate to. The only way that we are able to stay together and to push back against this ideology that everything needs to be perfect is by banding together and saying, you might see my face smiling and doing all these things, but this is the filing cabinet behind me that I have had all these things that have go through. And so I'm not saying that what you're going through isn't bad, but if I've gone through these things, you can make it through too. And I am going to be that person that is going to theoretically hold your hand and be there for you. I mean, we've always said this. If one person could hear what I went through as a mom, as a domestic violence victim, as a person, and it saves them from certain things, then I'll consider all of this worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, Brewster,
to wrap it up.
How did I do? Look at me.
You lady. Well,
Look at me.
you first off, in typical Brewster fashion, you zing me. I did not see this coming. So you took a page from the Brewster playbook and you kept a secret under wraps, and then bam, you caught me off guard. So
it was really hard to keep this. I'm actually not really good at keeping secrets because I'm just not yeah.
It makes sense.
Gifts.
Some of your messages were shorter than usual. I'm like, is she pissed off? What's going on here?
Well,
And
I've been busy, but yeah, I was just.
I get it now. Yeah, it's like, don't say too much. I can't slip up here.
Well, she actually, when you popped on, she was actually mid-video chat with me. And so we had to coordinate it. So, and then the whole time that you guys were talking before this, I was actually on video chat with her. And I was silent. So she was waiting to cue me in. But I couldn't not.
But
this is the best surprise birthday ever.
No, but I got over on both of you because I almost didn't even tell you, Cass. But I was like, wait a minute, if I tell her, I bet she'll come on, and that way I can. I don't want to rush you in anything, but with how things have happened, I don't want you losing or falling out of love with horror, and I feel like your heart needed it. I needed it.
I did.
I fucking have missed your face right here. I have missed it so much. I just can't even.
I mean, you weren't wrong. If anyone could get me back on, it would be Brewster.
Yeah.
And I have thought about quitting but you have definitely pulled me back from that brink. And it's not just because Jim passed. There have definitely been just some, like I said, you kind of find out the best and worst in humanity when something like this happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be back. Kylie is going to be holding it down for another month while I take care of things, but I will be back. And I'm not going to let people, and I actually do have a post even talking about it that Kylie's going to take a look at after this and approve, that just talks about it. But I am going to take another month and I'll be back. But at the end of the day, no matter how hard, no matter how horrible any of that was, and this kind of relates back to Brewster too, because Brewster is the same way, I couldn't give this up. And part of it is because through it all, Jim believed in me when it came to this. He was the one that built my studio at 4:00 in the morning. He is the one that bought my laptop, knowing that I was going to school at the time and also going to be doing podcasting. He, to his detriment, always believed in me and didn't care that I was on here. Didn't think it detracted anything from his manhood, anything like that. He thought it was the coolest thing. And one of the last conversations that he talked about, quite literally before he passed, was just how he felt like he had dropped the ball with not knowing, not letting me know that he was proud of me and that he wanted to keep have me keep going. And he wanted to make sure that he could support me through that. And he just wanted his family back. And he fought like fucking hell to try to come back. And I would lose a piece of him if I gave this up. So I am not giving this up. I will come back. But to say that my soul doesn't need another month, I would be fucking lying, because as strong as I try to be, no one prepares you for any of this shit. No one prepares you to hold the person that you've spent 12 years of your life with hand as they die and watch them die. And nobody prepares you for the pain that you have to go through watching your child go through that as well and say goodbye to their father. And just your whole hopes and dreams, the fairy tale that you built up, watching all that burn to the fucking ground. And so I have also at the same time wanted to speed back, but I know from talking to Kylie that I am not in the right place to be doing it. So I will be back in a month. End of June, beginning of July, we'll be back. We'll have new content towards the end of the month. But Kylie's gonna hold it down until then, but
I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
She's doing incredible. And listen, if anybody has any criticisms, they could direct it to me, because without fail, without missing a breath, Kylie just took care of every fucking thing because she knew I couldn't. She not only has taken care of me as a person, made sure I'm okay, but she has been there for my child. And she is also just taking care of every single aspect of Horrorcraft without me having even, and I felt, even if I tried to feel guilty for it, she just swerved me out of the fucking way and said, no, I'm taking care of this. As she coordinated with everybody, she told everybody what was going on, and then helped me through all of it. She's helped me she was the one that was on the phone with me as I told Brayden that his dad wasn't making it, because she knew I needed somebody to support me. She was there during nights when I was with Jim alone and I was scared, and she was there through tears. Brewster was there too, but I am truly lucky that I've had people pick me up off the floor, and I would be nowhere without those people right now. One of them being Katie, my friend who is currently watching Brayden, and I can hear them talking in the background of this, but Katie has quite literally just become like my partner overnight, and just like making sure like I'm taken care of and stuff. And it takes a lot to impress Kylie. Kylie likes Katie though, and that says a lot right there. So but I just wouldn't be. So I am coming back, but to be fully transparent, this definitely helped me realize that I needed to be back. So and so Kylie did pull one over on me too, but I'm very easy to manipulate these days, because I pretty much give Kylie whatever she wanted at this point.
No, you can definitely get props on that one.
I don't know what you're talking about, because I would get anything. What do you want? I will do my best. If it's within my means and possibilities, absolutely. I love you both. I love you both so much. Brewster, what is going on with you? What do you got going on in the future? Where can people find you? Where are all the things and the stuff?
I don't talk about my upcoming antics because that ruins the element of surprise. But you just keep on to my Facebook page and YouTube channel, Brewster Vision. When's this going up, by the way? Is this up live now?
I don't know. I might drop it Wednesday. I don't know. See what happens.
All right. Because it'll be up by then. Tomorrow morning, probably about 5:36, where I'll send you guys a copy, and you can watch it yourselves. It'll definitely be up before this is posted. I did a new joke video I'm trying out. It's the day in the life of a horror junkie. And I basically make fun of those influencers, like I get up and do this kind of thing, except there's horror elements to it. So
that's
it's only
funny.
about 50 seconds long. It's a short, so you just check it out real quick. And the test audience has liked it so far, so we'll have to see what's going on there.
And you could also find him on the Whole Damn Enchilada podcast every Thursday.
7 o'clock Eastern time.
And Rick, we love you. Love you, man. I just have to say this while we're on here, so Kylie could take this and just post this everywhere. Rick and Brewster went above and beyond to try to make sure I was okay. So much so that they blasted it all over Whole Damn Enchilada. They made us the recipients of the fundraiser for Autism Awareness Month. And Rick really was out there doing the work. Brewster was out there doing the work. I love these people. Please go follow them. Please go follow Brewster. Please go follow Rick. Please go follow Tanner. These are the people that you need to be listening to, because they are the people that are exactly who they are in front of the camera. They're behind it. And actually, they're even more so. They are the kind of people that you want when you are going through this kind of situation, when you are going through life things. They are the people that have your back. And I absolutely adore them. And I know because of their friendship and because of Kylie's friendship and the people that I have in my life that I will be okay. But please go follow them. Go give them love and support, because it means the world to me. And I already felt blessed enough to have their friendship. But to see that, I couldn't, I cried for a whole hour after seeing all that. So I love you guys and I appreciate your support. So please go follow Brewster. We're going to put everything down below. And Brewster will be back on Horrorcraft when we come back. Until then, go back and watch the previous episodes if you haven't watched it. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm doing I'm covering the new season of From. We didn't have an episode this Sunday, but we will be having one this Sunday. You'll be there,
and
you gonna be there?
Probably not this one coming up, because I have life things going on, but I'm at least gonna try to be back the last 2 episodes, and getting back into it. So
all right.
I can at least, and obviously we'll have some Lestat content coming soon, because I'll be popping out for that.
Yeah, about to be. Yep.
Yeah. So, but we'll have, and when we come back, probably end of June, we will have some episodes that we recorded before all of this that will come out that we've been waiting on. We will have an episode that we will be doing to memorialize Jim, and we will be talking about Strangeland. So that will probably be the first or second episode coming back. And we're going to do something original as well. We're also going to have an episode talking about the future and what the future of Horrorcraft looks like. Yes, Brewster.
Are we talking D. Snyder's Strangeland?
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of Jim's favorite movies.
Have me on that episode. I am totally inviting myself on that episode.
You could come. We're going to talk about Jim. So you are more than.
I've owned that movie on VHS and D. Snyder. Come on.
And one of the last happy moments I have of Jim is watching Strangeland with Tiki at his house and on his couch, and us just talking about life. And so I think it's a great way to honor such an incredible person. And we're going to be doing some more original content when we come back, because we kind of need that right now. And
we're getting back down to the basics of Horrorcraft podcast.
Yeah.
Get with it or get lost, y'all.
But don't be mistaken. I'm coming back, and we are still going to at some time be popping out with our shit, as always.
We always are.
But thank you, Brewster, for coming on.
Yes,
thank you, ladies, for having me. I appreciate it.
We love you. And
love you too.
Go follow Brewster, and he'll be back on in Horrorcraft as always. So until next time, it's me, Cass, and
Kylie.
And
Brew or Brewster? Which one you ladies prefer?
Brew. That's Brew. And we are the Horrorcraft podcast, and we're saying bye and stay spooky. Bye. Bye.